My name is Ramesh Manocha. I'm a GP. I'm the founder of Generation Next. The ideas contained within Generation Next are ideas that are shared by many people, particularly the speakers and experts that I have brought for you here today. And they have agreed to speak because of their mutual and agreed concern for the future welfare of our young people in Australia. Children as we know them today are under siege, and what we intuitively understand as childhood is being changed by many forces, many of which we intuitively don't agree with, but we don't know how to combat. We seem to have unprecedented levels of stress, negative self-image, anxiety, social dysfunction, and so on and so forth. And these things, as they get more severe, they end up in our clinics, in my general practice, in psychiatric institutions, in wandering the streets, requiring treatment at this end of the spectrum, medication and intensive therapy. There are psychologists and there are counsellors trying to tackle it at this end. But what's really interesting is that the science is now emerging to demonstrate that there are both positive and negative factors that lead to the development of these phenomena that are in your control. And what Generation Next is designed to do is to give you, to empower you with knowledge and practical strategies to tackle the situation here so that GPs and psychologists and health professionals don't have to clean up the mess later, and we can ensure that our young people are reaching the full potential that they're clearly capable of achieving. So here is the team. They are the leading experts and communicators. They're not only experts in terms of knowledge, but they're experts in terms of communicating that knowledge and making that knowledge penetrate and stick. And tonight, I hope that you will be given information and strategies by which you can push back against what is becoming a rising tide, which necessarily requires us to become conscious and active participants in our child's lives and the direction in which our society is moving. And now I'd like to thank, most importantly, Melissa Doyle, who has lent the tremendous weight of her name and her personal interest stemming from Sunrise and the fact that she's a parent to help us extend this message out to as many people as possible. So I'd like to welcome Melissa, and please welcome her with me.
I actually jumped at the opportunity to come along tonight and to moderate because I'm a parent of two Generation Zers, I think I can call them that. They're only little, 5 and 8, I've got a long way to go. But probably like a lot of you in the room here, I'm craving for information on how I can manage and what I can do and how I can basically guide my two children through the next 15 years and beyond. Tonight we are going to hear from an array of experts. They really are incredible. Their knowledge is far-reaching, their experience is even more so, which is, I think, really where it counts. We're going to talk about all sorts of things from managing bullying, drugs and alcohol, sex, and protecting our children physically and emotionally, which I think is so very important. Hopefully we'll all go home tonight a little wiser, armed with a bit of knowledge that can help all of us tackle some of those issues and guide our children to the life that we want them to follow, the path that we want them to go down.
The panel is your opportunity to get specific answers to curly questions that are difficult for lecturers to anticipate.
Amazing, amazing questions. What we've tried to do is go through and just pick a bit of a cross-section. The first question I'll put to Dr. Michael Carr-Gregg is, when you see signs of depression in a 17-year-old, how do you get them to see a GP? And when is I'm all right, right? There was one question that was written down that said, I'm a mum, I'm a patient, if my daughter comes to you for a termination, do I have a right to be told? There's been a couple of these ones. Concerned about sleepovers. This is from Chris in Marcola. 4 kids, 7, 9, 11 and 13. Now we're concerned about sleepovers. There seems to be a trend for parents to encourage them, but we're worried about what happens when they're all there. 1, are we overreacting? And 2, how do we communicate our stance to our children? And also, how do we communicate our stance to other parents without offending them?
Thank you all so much. You're amazing. Talk about the bell curve earlier. I felt like it was a bell curve of fear and confidence and everything. 1 minute I thought, oh my God, I can't do this. Why have I been given children? And then the next minute I thought, yes. So you've all been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so very, very much.
Her involvement